Would you believe me if I told you that these two characters were black?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know, it sounds crazy. What's even crazier is that this guy you see on screen, the brolic 6'5" dark skin, he's 100% full Japanese. Black representation in anime has always been weird, to say the least. On the one hand, you have your Yoruichis, your Oguns, your Killer Bees, and on the other, you got Sister Crone. And today we're going to take a look at why anime representation is like this, why some fans are so against better representation, and celebrate the black creators that have contributed so much to anime. And hopefully, leave behind the Choco Love era. It is not hard to find examples of bad representation in anime. Japan has about as many black people as a Tennessee Cracker Barrel. So it makes sense that in the pre-internet age, with caricatures and propaganda being the main way they were seeing black people, we got more general blacks than jabbers. The pre-2000s were rough for this. You had huge anime franchises cranking out characters like Mr. Popo, Jinx, Choco Love. Okay, I'm sorry, my nigga. Choco Love? Choco Love, bro. Like, was Blackie Blackson too subtle? Was Jaquavius Brown not obvious enough? But as you can see here, these characters heavily resemble the racialized imagery black characters were subject to in the 19th and early 20th century. Big colored lips, bug eyes, cartoonish looking features. And unfortunately, even with the internet age and the featuring of black people in cross-cultural media, we're still getting booty butt representation to this day. Now I love Promised Neverland. It's my favorite one-season anime ever. Doesn't it have 2 seasons? My favorite one-season anime ever. But besides not getting a season 2, my other biggest criticism of the series comes from Sister Crone. Now, if you're an anime only, you might not see why anything's wrong, even though there's plenty wrong there too, but compared to the manga, she might as well be Halle Berry. Just look at it. The shit looks straight out of a minstrel show. Now, I was willing to give a little grace to earlier authors because they didn't have internet, but this shit was from 2016. Last I checked, Google wasn't banned in Japan. You couldn't have looked up drawing black people for dummies? Same thing with Darkshine's design from One Punch Man, though he's a bit of a weird case. Fun fact, he's actually just a normal Japanese dude who trained so hard he became a black man.
Is this nigga serious or what?
I could probably make a whole video just on that, but I only have so much time. But the other reason I don't want to let these authors off the hook is because their peers are out here with the same resources as them, making amazing black characters. Now, much has been said about Naruto's Kishimoto. That he can't write women, that he sidelines characters, that he has Boruto out here looking like James Charles. And none of that is wrong, per se. But for all his flaws, he still made Killer Bee, one of the best black characters in anime history. And he consistently made enjoyable, well-designed black characters in a manga that came out a decade before One Punch Man or Promised Neverland. Same thing for Kubo, who designed Tozen, and of course, my wife, Yoruichi. I could keep going. Dutch from Black Lagoon, Afro from Afro Samurai, Canary from Hunter x Hunter, all these characters were designed in the 2000s or earlier. They prove that it's not impossible or inconvenient to make black character designs that don't look like Justin Trudeau at a Halloween party. And I have to admit, things are certainly trending in the right direction. A new series like Gachiakuta, for example, has 3 amazing black characters in Semyu, Corvus, and Jabber. They have very different designs, personalities, and story roles, but all manage to be important to the plot while feeling authentic and truly black. The problem is that that's received backlash in its own right. If you haven't heard, Gachiakuta got approved for a live-action series alongside the anime and manga. And despite the author's explicit protests, the casting for those 3 characters didn't go great. To keep it short, they got de-niggified.
I'm sorry, no, absolutely not.
Brother, what's that?
Just look at this. That's not Semyu, that's Samantha. That's not Corvus, that's Corduroy. That's not Jabber, that's Jacques. But the trend of trying to negate or invalidate what good black representation we do get in anime isn't new. With Gachiakuta, we had people trying to claim Jabber wasn't black, which,
You got some pretty good game for a worn-out, foul-mouthed, butthurt, ratchety, short-stacked sphere,
I guess, bro? But for other series like JoJo's, the same thing has happened with a character like Avdol. Yeah, believe it or not, people have tried to claim that Muhammad Avdol, who has this skin tone and this hair texture, isn't black because the nigga is from Egypt.
That shit sounds ridiculous.
Well, to you.
Now, I'm no geography expert, but y'all do know Egypt is in Africa, right? And shockingly, said African country has a pretty sizable black population. What mental gymnastics do you have to go through to say that a character can't be black because he's from Africa? And that last part, fans deciding who gets to be black, that's where the story actually ends and the community problems begin. Now before we get into this, I want to be clear that for the most part, anime fans have been nothing but kind to me. Like I talked about in my other community deep dives, I've received so much love and support over the years from my fellow weebs, black, white, or otherwise. But my experience isn't everyone's experience, and even mine was pretty 60-40. Now sometimes it's just subtle stuff that's less malicious and more, I don't talk to too many niggas. Maybe you just don't understand why black people don't like certain tropes in anime. Maybe you just made an off-color joke once or twice. Stuff that's annoying but that isn't reprehensible. But there are a lot of brothers out there who are, HoobeZa sympathizers, if you catch my drift. Ghetto fans, if you're so inclined. Toby Rama glazers, if you see what I'm saying. Or to put it more plainly, they just hate niggas. Now there's some not so subtle warning signs you can always look out for. They'll probably call anyone who doesn't think every black character should look like a reject from the story of OJ a tourist. By the way, we'll be getting back to that word tourist later. They probably refer to black people who watch anime as hood weebs, which, at that point, just say the word you want to say, bro. We both know you're thinking it. They weirdly enough probably have a profile pic from Love is War, K-On!, or Nagatoro, which makes me sad because none of those shows are racist to my knowledge. Love is War is in my top 10 all time. And worst of all, they absolutely love harassing black people minding their business. Now, if you've been in the space for a while, you've probably seen how stark the difference is between how white and black cosplayers are treated. I've seen more smoke for a black woman dressing as Freerin than I've seen for actual criminals. Black cosplayers constantly get harassed in their comments and told they can't dress as anime characters because they're shoving politics down everyone's throats and the characters aren't black. Which is, of course, why we see these characters in white cosplayers' comment sections telling them to stop cosplaying Japanese characters. Right? Right?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
My bad, I forgot that Japan is actually a European colony apparently full of 100% white people. Hatsune Miku, Sasuke Uchiha, Tanjiro Kamado, as you can tell by their names, are clearly European. I'm convinced that for a lot of these people, the world can be divided into three races. White, white adjacent, and political. Even existing while being black constitutes as pushing some nefarious political agenda to these folks. They feel like they have to protect their space and culture from black people even existing near it. Mind you, it's not their culture in the first place. Let's talk about the word tourist. I don't think I've ever seen a word more misused in my life. It's crazy how you can talk about someone ruining the purity of Japan for cosplaying or whatever, and that they're an unwelcome visitor to Japanese culture. My nigga, your name is Jonathan. You live in Wyoming. The only thing Japanese about you are your figurines, and talking about what you do with those will get me demonetized. You spend your time disrespecting and devaluing black people because you don't deem them as worthy of fitting in with a culture you aren't even a part of. A theory I've kind of floated is that they secretly see Japan as an extension of white culture, which is why they feel like they're insiders and their opinions are the only ones that matter on anime. In fact, they'll do the shit I was just talking about to actual Japanese people. There was a manga that got serialized in 2022 called Half is More, about two half-black, half-Japanese siblings. It's won multiple awards in Japan and seemed to be pretty well received over there. But it touches on themes of racism, which was all it needed to do to make the whiniest niggas you know crash out. The author got harassed, people tried to stop Viz from translating it, people even drew racist caricatures bad enough that I can't show them on screen. And I think it perfectly illustrates the stupidity of the situation. You have white people from America telling black people from America what Japanese people from Japan think about them, while actively harassing Japanese authors who don't fit that mold. Just empty heads everywhere, I swear, bro. At that point, just say you hate niggas and go.
I know what you are!
But people like to argue that stuff like this is just jokes or that it doesn't have real consequences. That they can harass people with impunity and it'll turn out fine. But unfortunately, that's never been the case. Fair warning, we're about to touch on some very sensitive subject matter. If that's not for you, just skip to the timestamp on screen. In November 2025, black cosplayer Ashley Gale Paxton, better known as Squidkid, passed away at 19 years old after sustained racist harassment. According to everyone who knew them, Ashley was a bright light in the cosplaying space, social media, and just day-to-day life. And what's been messing with my head is that they were only 1 year younger than me. I've had my own struggles with depression, and I know that having a great support system is the only reason I'm still here. I couldn't imagine if during my worst days I had thousands of people just saying the most horrible things they could think of to me day in and day out. I want you to hear me when I say this. If you can look at a situation like this, turn around and keep on just trying your best to make black people feel like shit, there is no point in ever engaging with you. You are well and truly lost. Honestly, for a couple of months afterwards, especially after some of the horrible things I saw in regards to their passing, I didn't want to engage with the anime community at all. Maybe the people trying to gatekeep us had the right idea, and that was just a space we didn't need to be in. But after thinking about it a little longer, I decided, fuck that. Fuck that. Why should we have to feel like outsiders in a house we helped build? Why should we feel like we're doing something wrong for celebrating the medium that gave me and other people a space to call home? Black people have given and continue to give so much to anime, whether that's the hip-hop influences present in a show like Don or Samurai Champloo, or as I like to discuss, what we've given to the community. People talk a lot about the great shift when it finally became mainstream to like anime without getting clowned in public, but a huge reason that happened was due to creators like RDC World 1. Just on YouTube alone, they've managed to rack up tens of millions of views with series like Anime House, When People Take Anime Too Far, and of course, Hood Avatar. Yeah, I know, Avatar technically isn't an anime, but like, come on. It's got honorary status at this point. Besides that, I know if you're anything like me, you've been seeing hella anime fitness edits nowadays, right? Lord knows my feed is flooded with Rock Lee or Ippo edits the second I look up anything within 100 letters of the word dumbbell. But the biggest pioneer of anime-inspired workouts and fitness has got to be Jax Blade. Whether that's Tough Like the Tunes, anime physique checks, or just lessons from anime you can apply to your own training. And besides the OGs, there are plenty of new creators doing their shit too. I'm Tracy Allen makes some of the funniest skits you'll ever see with a Christian message at the end. Tony Weaver Jr. manages to make fun, informative shorts uplifting the community. My Senpai is one of the most unhinged but creative people I've ever seen. And of course, leading the new generation is the great, the powerful, the devastatingly handsome, Tearless Man 39. I'll see myself out. At the end of the day, the Western anime community and anime as a whole look completely different without black people. And I'll be damned if I let some gooned out, no job, Twitter finger, bad built basement dweller kick me out of the place that I call home. I don't have much else to say besides one thing I want to leave you with. Just be normal to niggas. That's it. If you want to help further, there's a link in the description to donate to Beam where all the proceeds for this video will be going. I love all you beautiful people, and if you can, just take care of each other.